Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. The 4.04 update added a ton of new features to the SP404 Mark II. And while we've already covered the big three additions, a looper, sound generator, and official Koala sampler integration, the update also brings some small but mighty features. Today, we'll explore 5 of the most underrated features in this update, including sample merging and how you can use it both for thickening drums, but also for enhanced sound design capabilities, especially with synthesizer sounds from Sound Generator. We'll also talk about a couple quality of life improvements. And finally, we're going to explore what exactly this groove function is and what it can do. Timestamps are in the description. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with sample merging. So there's actually 2 great ways you can use this, and the first one is just to easily combine sounds together, and that's great for thickening up drum sounds. So I've got these 2 sounds, and all you need to do to merge samples is just hit Shift, resample. So you can choose 4 pads now, so I'm going to take those 2, and now you can actually choose the amount you want of each to blend in. We're going to just keep them at 100 for right now. Then when you're ready, hit the Enter button, choose an empty pad, it won't be lit up, and hit either resample or enter again, and there's your sound. So these were the 2 separate, and now they are together. So that's a great way to make thicker sounding drums without having to use pad link or resample. But Merge Sample's biggest superpower is actually in working with Sound Generator to make complex multi-oscillator synthesizers, all with just the SP404. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Let's find an empty couple of pads, and we're going to go into Sound Generator by hitting Shift Record Setting. Here's our Sound Generator. I'm going to choose, let's do a soft, lower the volume a little bit, and I'm going to drop the octave down to +1, and we're just going to hit Record, put it on 13. And if you want a full breakdown of how Sound Generator works and how to make the most of it, check out this video. The link is also in the description. So we've got one. I'm going to make 2 very similar oscillators in the sense that I'm going to just copy this one, hit copy, hit that pad, hit it again, hit copy. Now we have 2. They sound the same right now, but we're going to go into the pitch speed of the second one, hold Shift to do fine tuning, and I'm going to just change the pitch. Let's say 0.1. So now you can hear it's a much thicker sound. From there, I'm going to go back into Sound Generator, and I'm going to choose a triangle waveform and go up an octave. And I'm just going to take that and put that on 15. And I also kind of want to experiment doing 1 octave lower with like a sine wave. So let's go there and let's drop the octave down, and we'll put that on 14 because we get 4 pads. So let's see what we can do, and we can blend them. So if I were to play them all together, that's what it's going to sound like. So I'm going to go into Merge Sample, Shift and Resample, choose the first 2 because those we want as loud as they are. And then I'm going to take this triangle and just drop it to about 30, and take this sine wave and drop it to about 20. And then we're going to find an empty pad and choose that. So this is what all of our sounds were separate, and this is them together now. Now you might be thinking it still kind of sounds like crap, right? Well, because there's no filter on Sound Generator, you have to add it. So let's actually add a filter on. And with the filter on, one thing that I want to do is add a bit of an LFO, which you can do. If you're on Super Filter, you can push Enter, and you can add depth and sync. So we're going to do a very slow LFO, and that's going to just open the filter up as it's playing. And then I'm also, I think from there, we're going to resample that in. From there, let's actually go and add some delay. That's perfect. And from there, let's go to bus 2 and add some reverb. And I'm actually going to adjust this. You can see where that filter really started to open. Let's just take that out. We're going to make like kind of a pluck sound. And I'm going to just go into the attack Let's add some release, and that should be good. And then let's go into chromatic mode by hitting Shift 4, and we're gonna make sure that we go to poly mode. Now we've got our pad, and just to show you, if I were to just use the original single sound, let's take this triangle. Combining it now as we did, it sounds a lot better, has so much more character and color to it. If you want more sound design recipes and just an overall easy to reference quick start guide, you can check out my SP404 cheat sheet. Channel members get it as part of their membership, but you can get it directly on my website. The link is in the description. All right, next up is TR Microscope for the TR Rec mode. So in one of the updates, I want to say 2.0, it might have been 3.0, they added a pattern mode that's TR Rec mode, and this is much more of a step sequencer. To get into TR Rec mode, you can either hit record, choose a pattern, and then hit remain to change to TR Rec mode. But something I just discovered pretty recently, if you just choose a pattern and hit shift record, you are now in TR Rec mode. I think that's huge because it's a quick way to get to it. You don't have to do all that fumbling. To get to TR Microscope, you need to choose a sound. So let's go to this 2, hold pattern edit, which is lit up conveniently, and press the pad that you want to check. You can see the octave of the pad, so you can change that live, and you can also change the velocity live. Another feature that they added in TR Microscope is if we go back into it, let's choose this one, you can now actually put notes in live by pressing record. So we'll start on 1. And you can see they just got recorded in live. The value knob also controls timing, so you can move it, and if you hold shift, you can do bigger increments, so you can get it to be really off time. So you could fix it in terms of quantizing doing it this way, or have it start early or start late to kind of add some groove and things like that. Okay, so the next underrated feature in the update might not sound like the most amazing thing in the world, but it's record measures. We can actually set the measures that we want to record. If you look right here on this little M, right next to the BPM, you can go from infinity, or which I think is 60 minutes per pad. But then if you go all the way to the left, you can start at 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars. And this is great because now you can actually get a perfect loop. Previously, when you wanted to record something, you would choose a pad, and you gotta try to press it right when it ends to get that perfect loop. And I don't even know if I did because it's so hard trying to talk and hit all of that at the same time. If we turn on the loop, let's see if it loops right. Hear that long pause? That's because I just didn't hit it right. If we go into the start end, you can see at the end there's a big bit of silence. So we previously used to have to go and try to find that perfect loop. But now all you need to do is choose the duration that you want. So let's just do 2 bars for the sake of this. And it's gonna end it for you. And it should loop. This is especially huge if you're doing synth or guitar because you now no longer have to worry about trying to hit that button anymore. The next one is an audio meter for incoming sounds. So I don't have anything coming into the SP at the moment, but this still works if we're gonna do resample. You can see over here on this right side, there's a LR and a meter. You now can actually see the level of the audio you're recording. So let's choose something here. You can see that this is a super quiet part. So why is this so amazing? Well, now you can see the levels so that you can know how hot or quiet your sample is. So if you need to raise your samples, you can do that. But it also shows you if you want to come in a little hot to get some clipping or to get a little distortion or something like that, you can see if you're clipping. Or if you don't want clipping, you can now see if it's doing that and you can lower the volume of an incoming sound. Okay, the final feature that I want to talk about today is the groove function. So this is basically adding glitch and groove, like humanizing elements to a sample. Now, a lot of it is very useful for drums to, if you, in subtle settings, it can add a lot of little human sound to it and just kind of like interesting movement and things like that. But in really drastic settings, you can get some really cool glitch sounds that you could chop up for background percussion or things like that. I'm thinking more in terms of sound design. And then you can also use it on sample sounds to just completely glitch them up and get really interesting chops out of it. So we're gonna check out both of those really quick. All right, so I've got this drum sound and it was from a pattern I made. So I'm gonna just loop it. And to get into this new groove function, hit pitch speed and then hit roll. And that opens up the groove menu. And from here, we can change the humanize function, like how much we want of it. We can change the rate, and then we can change the groove and the beat. And that turns it on. So let's up the rate so you can really hear what it's doing. Hear what it's doing to it? Let's put it on high. Off. This is what it sounded like normally. So from here though, we could resample that. And I'm just listening and now the kick sounds, let's shut that off. That kick was super straightforward, and also in terms of its actual sound, it had very little decay. Now we've got this really trippy kick. That's perfect, and I'm going to copy that. Let me find somewhere where there's an empty bit of pad. Now we've got this trippy kick, and then we're gonna copy it again so we can get a hi-hat out of it. Let's go start end. Let's get that snare sound. From there, let's drop this down. Now we have this really crazy industrial sound. And we could go crazy with effects. Let's turn on Crusher, and then on bus 2, let's get some crazy distortion. That was all just a kick that we turned into this crazy sound. But from there, you could also, I'm just thinking hi-hats. You get some really cool glitchy hi-hats that you could put in the background of a track. That could be really cool. Now let's test out though what it can do to some sort of ambient sound, right? So I've got this simple sound, not too bad sounding. Let's add some nice little Kodama and some reverb. And we've got it looping, so let's go into that groove. We'll change the rate. Now we could resample this. Stop it right there. Because I heard that right there. Now this is sounding like Silent Hill or something, but let's go in and add some attack. Chromatic again. I don't even know where we're going with this, but you can see the potential of it here. It doesn't all have to end up sounding creepy and dark and things like that. There's a lot you can do with this. Test it out on a piano. You can get some crazy glitch sounds on that. Chop it up, find little segments, get granular chops out of it. So those are my 5 favorite underrated additions in the 4.04 update. We're already a few months out from this update and there's still so much to unpack from it. They've also created a 4.05 patch that fixes some of the glitches and bugs from 4.04. I got a lot of comments actually on all of the videos I did about this update saying they either updated it and had a bunch of issues or they're waiting to update. So if you're in either of those camps, make sure you grab the 4.05 update. I've yet to grab it because I haven't had any issues. So if you've gotten the 4.05 update, let us know in the comments, did it fix any of the issues you were having? Were you having any issues? But with all of these new features, can you make a beat using just the SP404? Check out this video next to find out. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.